Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? Well, congratulations to Adrian Broner. He stopped Ashley Theophane in the ninth round. He's the first person to ever stop Ashley Theophane. He hurt Theophane multiple times throughout the fight. You know, leading up to the fight, Ashley Theophane, he looked great in training. He looked great in sparring. And I expected him to do a little bit more. I expected him to be a little bit more aggressive. I was surprised that, as soon as the fight started, it was Ashley Theophane that was mainly on his feet, and it was Adrian Broner that was the aggressor. I mean, that alone indicated that it was going to be a real long night for Ashley Theophane. And I noticed, Ashley Theophane, when he started to let his hands go, it was more like quantity versus quality, because Ashley, he would throw a couple combinations, but Adrian Broner, he would come back with like haymakers. And they were impressive haymakers. I mean, he was throwing some vicious shots to the body. He was catching Theophane with laser-like lead right hands. It was an impressive performance. Now, if there's anything to take away from Broner's performance, I would say that around the sixth round, all of a sudden, Adrian Broner, he slowed down. He slowed down big time. And this is when Ashley Theophane actually started to look good. Theophane was throwing some nice combinations. He was throwing some good body punches. And this is when I believe Ashley was going to try to start walking down Adrian Broner. But even though Broner had slowed down with his punch output, he was still extremely dangerous. Because when he let his hands go, once again, you could see the power difference right away. Now, some people will say the stoppage was a little premature. I mean, the referee, no doubt about it, he could have let it go a couple more seconds or whatnot, especially considering the fact that Ashley Theophane, he was actually looking at the referee as he was backsliding, and the referee still stopped the fight. Now, of course, what everybody's going to be talking about is what happened and what Adrian Broner said after the fight. And, I'm going to do a separate video talking more about it, but yes, clearly Adrian Broner, he called out Floyd Mayweather. And, I told you guys on a previous Broner video that I just did a couple days ago that it's going to be just as interesting watching the fight as it will be to see what Adrian Broner says after the fight, especially if he wins, of course. And Adrian Broner did not disappoint. He did not disappoint. So, once again, he called out Floyd Mayweather. And like I said again, all right, guys, my phone is going off. Let me hold on for a second. Just get on down. So anyway, like I was saying, Adrian Broner, he called out Floyd Mayweather. And once again, I'm going to talk more about it on a separate video. I'm going to do that video right after I do this one. But let me just also go ahead and say, man, once again, man, thanks to Al Haymon for bringing big, relevant fight cards to free TV. You had a complete fight card, 3 fights, all competitive bouts and all knockouts. You had Gervonta Tank Davis, or now Gervonta the One Davis, who was looking like a beast. He gets an impressive knockout. Now he's 15-0 with 14 knockouts. Once again, welcome to the coincidental list. They claim they like knockouts, so let's see what they say about Gervonta Davis. Let's see if he gets his hope insurance. Friday night fights on ESPN, it was never really like big fights. I mean, every now and then, every once in a blue moon, you'll get a good fight. Like, for example, the only fight I could really think of that really stood out was Chris Arreola versus Bermane Stiverne. And it was a sprinkle of other decent fights. But sometimes, the cards were so bad that I was really only looking forward to hearing the new boxing news. You guys remember that when, Brian Kenny was on there, and in between fights, he would break some of the biggest boxing news. There were really times where I would only watch Friday night fights just to hear about the breaking news in the sport of boxing, and I bullshit you not. We don't have to worry about that anymore, because now on Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, any day of the week, we are getting to watch big fights on free TV. Adrian Broner fighting on free TV, and prospects like Gervonta Tank Davis and Robert Easter, who knocked out Mendez. Another very impressive performance by Robert Easter. Congratulations to him. Vicious knockout with an overhand right. Knocked Mendez out cold. And Robert Easter, he looked dominant throughout the entire fight. But you had these three guys on one card. That was a Showtime card. That was an HBO card. Thanks to Al Haymon, it was on free TV. Something else I want to say about ESPN. Once again, like I said, ESPN was, it was something to watch to kind of get you warmed up for, Saturday night, if there was a big fight on Saturday. But when Al Haymon put his first card on ESPN to replace Friday night fights and all of that, the first card they put on ESPN turned out to do the biggest numbers on ESPN in 17 years. And that was just the first card that Al Haymon put on ESPN. The biggest card in 17 years. Once again, Friday night fights was something to kind of watch, but nobody was really watching it. I mean, if you look at the views, the ratings, no one was really watching it. We know people are watching Adrian Broner. We know people are watching Keith Thurman. We know people are watching Leo Santa Cruz versus Abner Mares, right? So Al Haymon, he continues to help the sport of boxing evolve. And, if you guys are real boxing fans, you should all be happy that we have someone like Al Haymon giving us free TV type of fights. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and start on my next video talking about Adrian Broner calling out Floyd Mayweather. That's all I got for now. I'm on to the next one.